You're going to take your Misty and you're going to put your image on it. This one's from Simon Says Stamp. We're going to ink this up with some Versamark ink. I'm just going to use a little piece of washi tape to hold that in place. Close my lid. And the bottom part of this did not stamp well, so we're going to go ahead and re-ink the entire image. I'm going to get that Misty out of my way and go ahead and coat this other image with embossing powder. Okay, now that we have our image stamped, we're going to color it. There isn't a whole lot of blending that's going to happen because of the embossing. And you're going to want to flip this upside down and color on the side that is not embossed. It's real clear that I didn't use enough anti-static bag on this side of the paper. Now that this image is colored, we're going to flip it over and see what it looks like on the other side. And it's really, really, really pretty. If you want, you can add some more dark and light shading by flipping it over like this. Just avoid the embossing part because that will ruin your nibs. Now I'm going to take a pair of scissors and we're going to fussy cut these two images out. First, I'm going to separate each one individually to make it a little easier. You do not need to be over the line or do any border cutting, as this is a transparency, so it's pretty much clear and you will not see it. If you make a mistake while you're coloring, take some rubbing alcohol or an alcohol prep pad or something like that. Put it on the surface, erase the ink, and start all over again. If that affects your embossing, if that affects the embossing powder, if you do have to remove ink, you're going to put it back in your Misty and re-stamp it and just start honestly from scratch. It will not harm the transparency, nor will it harm anything else, should you have the need to do that. For our card base, we're going to cut a piece of cardstock to 5 1/2, and when we fold it in half, it's going to be 4 1/4, or A2 in size. We are now going to take one portion of this and cut this down to 2 1/8. Cut the layering piece for here, and it's going to measure 5 3/8 by 2 inches. This will be layered on top just like this, leaving basically a 1/16, maybe an 1/8 inch on all 4 sides. You can eyeball that and put it into place. So I'm going to cut this one down to layer on top of here. So this is going to measure 2 7/8 by 5 1/4. Excuse me, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. I'm going to cut a layering piece for the inside of this card that measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. We're going to layer this piece inside of our card. So right now my card base looks like this. Now this is where you can have some creative license and decide whether or not you want to just mount this directly onto this, or if you want to put something behind it like this, which is just beautiful, by the way. I placed some cardstock up underneath my stamped image, and then I layered on my sentiment, which I stamped onto the same cardstock as the base, and put that slightly underneath my image, and then I glued it down with some glossy accents. It's probably best to use something heavy and hold that into place for a little bit while it dries. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share my videos on your social media. Stamp happy and be a blessing. I'll see you soon. Bye.